طيب الحمد لله رب العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته كما صليت على آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته كما باركت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. أما بعد, today the 20th of Safar 1438 matching the 20th of November 2016, and we are doing the second part of our session, and that is the summary of Zaad al-Maad. We have done the first part last week, and last week he spoke about the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates and selects. And if you go to the original Zaad al-Ma'ad, what we did last week by itself, this summary was amazing, right? But if you go through the original, wallahi, you will be shocked, not amazed only, right? Because he goes through the details of those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose and selected. And he speaks about يا حاج صوتك عالي يا حاج يا حاج ارحمنا يا حاج دائما صوتك في كل الدروس وكل ما شاء الله عليك، لو عندك انت الميكروفون الاذان خلاص انا فاهمك انت بعيد لكن صوتك اعلى مني ما شاء الله عليك طيب. So he goes through the details of these special characteristics that Allah gives the persons and places and things. So mashallah, it's very amazing, and the details of it are so overwhelming. But anyhow, we are getting the basics out of that, inshallah ta'ala. And we stopped at the hadith where it says that this ummah will be, they praise Allah and they thank Allah if good things happen to them, and if calamities befall them, things that they dislike happen to them, they seek the reward from Allah and they are patient. He said, and la hilm wa la ilm, no forbearance and no knowledge. And Isa alayhi salatu wasalam says, how is it that there is no forbearance and no knowledge? He says, I give them, subhanahu wa ta'ala, I give them from my forbearance and my knowledge. And I mentioned here that that hadith, according to the commentator here, is a Hasan hadith. Also in the copy by the Sheikh Abdul Arnaout, they authenticate the hadith, they say it's Hasan. However, in the new copy of the same book by Muassasat al-Risala, the book by Sheikh Arnaout, they say that this hadith has some weakness in it. But anyhow, according to some, it is Hasan hadith. So I just wanted to mention this before we go on. This one now is a section on اختص الله نفسه بالطيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made الطيب, the good and pure, specific, restricted it for himself subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, المقصود أن الله اختار من كل جنس أطيبه. The objective here is that, what is meant here is that Allah has chosen from every type, from every species, Allah chose the purest. Allah chose the purest. فاختصه لنفسه. He made it special and specific for himself subhanahu wa ta'ala. فإنه سبحانه وتعالى طيب لا يحب إلا الطيب. He subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is all pure, all good. He does not love except that which is good, which is pure. ولا يقبل من القول والعمل والصدقة إلا الطيب. And he does not accept of the statement, action, and donation except the طيب, good and pure. وبهذا يعلم عنوان سعادة العبد وشقاوته. And by this it is known the sign of the happiness of the servant or his wretchedness and sadness. Right? Unwan. It's like they say signature title. You know? Like a sign, a milestone. You get to know someone is happy or sad. He is from the happy ones, people of paradise, or he is from the sad ones. He said, how? How is that? Why is this يعني, a sign, a token, right, for the people يعني, who are sad or who are wretched, يعني, sad and wretched, or happy and from the people of paradise? He says, فَإِنَّ الطَّيِّبَ لَا يُنَاسِبُهُ إِلَّا الطَّيِّبُ. For the pure, the good and pure, nothing matches him except that which is good and pure. وَلَا يَرْضَى إِلَّا بِهِ. He is not pleased except with that which is good and pure. وَلَا يَسْكُنُ إِلَّا إِلَيْهِ. He does not find peace except when he is with the pure and good. وَلَا يَطْمَئِنُّ قَلْبُهُ إِلَّا بِهِ. His heart does not find peace and tranquility except through the good. Right? The good and pure. So, يعني, this is how the token is, يعني, meaning the sign. If you like the masjid, you find yourself happy and peaceful when you go to the masjid, right? Good matches the good. If you are repelled from this place and you want to go elsewhere and spend the time, then you know, يعني, you judge yourself. You know, you have the standard now, the yardstick. You like what is good and pure, then you are good and pure. You find peace, tranquility. يعني, it suits you. You know, يناسبه. It suits him. What is good suits him. And not only the place, the food. Kinds of food. If you find يعني, the good and pure, you feel, you know, يعني, you don't accept except the good and pure. You don't want anything that is not good and pure, right? Then you judge yourself. You know, that's a sign. If you like things that are good and pure, then this is a sign you are good and pure, and then therefore you know if you are happy or not, right? He says, فله من الكلام الكلام الطيب الذي لا يصعد إلى الله إلا هو. He has, this person who likes what is good, he has of the words that are good and pure. That, yani those words that are good and pure, which nothing goes up to Allah except the good and pure of words. إليه يصعد الكلم الطيب والعمل الصالح يرفعه. Right? This verse is from it the title of Al-Imam Ibn Al-Qayyim and his book Al-Wabil Al-Sayyib, ورافع الكلم الطيب, ورافع الكلم الطيب. Right? The good words, that's what goes up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وهو أشد نفرة عن الفحش في المقال. He is so much severely repelled of obscenities in statements. Yani, this person who is good, he cannot be satisfied. He's so much repelled. He runs away from words that are so obscene. Yani. Some people, they cannot live except with profanity. Yani. You see that the kuffar, yani, the words they say, some of them, yani, in every one or two words there is a and on, and it's nothing. Yani, it's nothing, as if they haven't said anything. Right? They drink, they say it. They laugh, they say it. They are angry, they say it. They are happy, they say it. Yani, Subhanallah. It doesn't finish, right? He is also repelled from al-kadhib, lying, al-ghiba, backbiting, al-namima, spreading the words or carrying the words of people against each other to corrupt their relationships. Al-baht, forgery, right? The extreme lying, right? وَقَوْلِ الزُّورِ, making false statements. وَكُلُّ كَلَامٍ خَبِيثٍ, and every speech that is filthy. He doesn't like that. He runs away from it, right? Sitting with a group, they start talking. Ya Jama'ah, change the subject. Let's talk about something else. You know, they go on and on. Yani, khalas, he gets up and leaves. Yani, that's the least you can do. Because exactly like it is prohibited to backbite, for instance, it is prohibited to just sit and listen to it. Right? Yani, not only backbiting is not allowed, listening to that is not allowed. So they either stop or you just leave and leave them alone. وَكَذَلِكَ لَا يَأْلَفُ مِنَ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَّا أَطْيَبَهَا. Likewise, he does not get along with of the deeds except those that are the purest. أطيب الأعمال. وهي التي أجمعت على حسنها الفطر السليمة مع الشرائع النبوية. Those pure deeds, they are the ones which the sound natures have agreed altogether, along with the legislated prophetic statements. They agree that they are good, right? So your good nature, the nature, tells you it's good, and the Sunnah legislates that these are good deeds. وَزَكَّتْهَا الْعُقُولُ الصَّحِيحَةِ. The sound minds, the sound intellects, they praised these deeds. Being charitable, being kind and nice to the needy or the poor or the elderly, like all of the naturally you find yourself saying that this is good. Just being a human, not you don't have to have a specific religion. If someone who is blind wants to cross the road, all of us agree that if you help him to cross, this is a good deed, right? Your nature tells you that, and your sound mind tells you that, right? If your mind is not sound, it tells you, oh, let's make fun, let's have something to laugh about today, right? But we're talking about a sound mind. He will say that this is a good thing, and the legislation comes and affirms that, affirms what is in your nature and your sound intellect, right? He says, مثل أن يعبد الله وحده لا شريك له. أن يعبد الله وحده لا شريك له. Like worshipping Allah alone without any partner. This is a good deed that the nature, the sound mind, and the legislation says it's good. Worshipping Allah alone without any partner. يؤثر مرضاته على هواه. Another deed. You prefer the pleasure of Allah over your own desire. ويتحبب إليه بجهده. And he tries to make himself beloved to Allah with all efforts that he can spend. ويحسن إلى خلقه ما استطاع. That he should be kind to his creation as much as he is able to. فيفعل بهم ما يحب أن يفعلوه به. He does to them that which he loves for them to do to him. Right? If it happens that you become that blind man and you are trying to cross, right? You wouldn't like it if someone says, let's have fun today. If you are the one, you like to do it to others, you want it to be done to you, right? So, that way. وَلَهُ مِنَ الْأَخْلَاقِ أَطْيَبُهَا. He has of the morals the purest. كَالْحِلْمِ, forbearance. وَالْوَقَارِ, regard and respect. وَالصَّبْرِ, patience. وَالرَّحْمَةِ, mercy. وَالْوَفَاءِ, faithfulness. وَالصِّدْقِ, truthfulness. وسلامة الصدر, having a chest that is peaceful towards the others, not filled with grudges and hate and all of that. سلامة الصدر. صدر, chest that is peaceful. والتواضع, humbleness. وصيانة الوجه عن بذله وتذلله لغير الله. And protecting and guarding the face from it being offered and being humiliated for other than Allah. Right? These are the good deeds, good morals. وكذلك لا يختار من المطاعم إلا أطيبها. Likewise, he doesn't choose of the different types of foods except the purest. وهو الحلال الهنيء. And that is what is halal. Halal food, that is hani, that is يعني blessed. الذي يغذي البدن والروح أحسن تغذية, which will nourish the body and soul, the best type of nourishment, the best type of feeding. مع سلامة العبد من تبعته, along with the servant being free and safe from its evil consequences. يعني you consume what is halal and you are free from the trouble that will result from it. وكذلك لا يختار من المناكح إلا أطيبها. Likewise, he does not choose of things to get, from people to get married to, males and females marrying each other. مناكح إلا, except the purest. He doesn't just marry anyone. Only chooses the purest. وَمِنَ الْأَصْحَابِ إِلَّا الطَّيِّبِينَ. Of the friends also, the companions, he chooses and selects only the purest, the good. فَهَذَا مِمَّنْ قَالَ اللَّهُ فِيهِمْ. The one who does that, he is from those whom Allah said about them, الَّذِينَ تَتَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ طَيِّبِينَ. Those whom the angels receive their souls while they are in a state of purity. The angels take their souls when they are good. يَقُولُونَ سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ. They say, peace be upon you. أُدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةِ. Enter paradise. بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Because of what you used to do. Of the pure and good things. Right? Surah An-Nahl, ayah 32. He will be also from those whom the treasurers of paradise, الذين تقول لهم خزنة الجنة. The treasurers of paradise, they will say to them, سلام عليكم طبتم. Peace be upon you. You have been pure and good. طبتم. طاب يطيب. Right? طيبا. هو طيب. Right? So, the angels say to them, peace be upon you, you have been pure, you have been good. طِبْتُمْ فَادْخُلُوهَا خَالِدِينَ. So enter it and to stay therein forever, perpetually. Surah Az-Zumar, ayah number 73. He says, وَهَذِهِ الْفَاءُ Zumar 73. وَهَذِهِ الْفَاءُ. This letter fa here in the verse, تقتضي السببية, necessitates the cause, right? أي بسبب طيبكم فادخلوها. Meaning because you have been good, because you have been pure, so enter it, right? طبتم فادخلوها, right? You have been good, you have been pure, so this letter fa, the letter fa, it gives you the reason why. So you have been good, so enter it in perpetuality, يعني with perpetuality. طيب. وقال تعالى الخبيثات للخبيثين. خبيثات, filthy, in the feminine, right? للخبيثين, they are for الخبيثين. Filthy, but plural in the masculine. والخبيثون, plural, masculine, filthy, right? للخبيثات. They are for the plural, feminine, filthy. Right? للخبيثات. والطيبات للطيبين والطيبون للطيبات. The pure are for the pure. And the pure are for the pure. Right? The pure of males, they are for the pure of the females. The pure of the females, they are for the pure of the males. Right? أولئك مبرؤون مما يقولون. Such are free and innocent of what they say. لهم مغفرة ورزق كريم. They have forgiveness and a handsome, noble, generous provision. That is from Allah. Surah An-Nur, ayah number 26. Surah An-Nur, ayah number 26. Now, he says, what is this pure and filthy? Masculine and feminine. They belong to each other. Right? He says, فَفُسِّرَتْ. So it was given the explanation that الكلمات الخبيثات للخبيثين. The filthy words are for the filthy people. والكلمات الطيبات للطيبين. And the good words are for the good people. وفسرت بالنساء الطيبات للرجال الطيبين. It was explained also that the pure women, the pure females, are for the pure men. And the opposite. Right? وهي تعم ذلك وغيره. And this is actually inclusive. It's generally inclusive of that and other than it. Not only the good words and the good males and females. Right? It is general. The good in general is for the good. And the evil in general is for the evil. Everyone is, gets what they deserve. Right? Wallahu subhanahu. Let's get this ayah from the noble Quran, inshallah. Here the noble Quran, it says, bad statements are for bad people, or bad women for bad men, and bad people for bad statements, or bad men for bad women. Good statements are for good people, or good women for good men, and good people for good statements, or good men for good women. Such good people are innocent of each and every bad statement which they say. For them is forgiveness and rizqun kareem, generous provision, that is paradise. Right? This is the translation there from the noble Quran. He says, Wallahu subhanahu ja'ala الطيب بحذافيره في الجنة. Allah Azza wa Jal made the pure and good بحذافيره, meaning all of it with its intricate details. All of it is in paradise. وَجَعَلَ الْخَبِيثَ بِحَذَافِيرِهِ فِي النَّارِ. And Allah made the evil, the filthy, with all of its little details, minute details, all of it is in the fire. فَدَارٌ أُخْلِصَتْ لِلطَّيِّبِ. There is a home, an abode, a house, that is exclusive for that which is pure and good. وَدَارٌ أُخْلِصَتْ لِلْخَبِيثِ. And a home that is exclusive for what is filthy and evil. وَدَارٌ مُزِجَ فِيهَا الْخَبِيثُ بِالطَّيِّبِ. And there is a home or an abode, a place that Allah mixed in it. Right? That it is mixed in it, the good and pure and the filthy and evil. Right? Which one is that one? وَهِيَ هَذِهِ الدَّارِ, he says. And this is this worldly life. This worldly life, it is mixed in it. The good, the pure, the evil and the filthy. Everything is mixed in this world. But there is a place that is exclusive for what is pure and good. And there is a place that is exclusive for that which is filthy and evil. Right? He said, فَإِذَا كَانَ يَوْمُ الْمَعَادِ. So when the day of judgment comes, the day when the people will, return to Allah, مَيَّزَ اللَّهُ الْخَبِيثَ مِنَ الطَّيِّبِ. Allah will make distinct, Allah will distinguish between that which is good and pure and that which is evil and filthy. فَعَادَ الْأَمْرُ إِلَى دَارَيْنِ فَقَطْ. So the affair returned back now to only two places, two homes. A home for the good and pure and a home for the evil and filthy. والمقصود, the objective is أن الله تعالى جعل للشقاوة والسعادة عنوانا يعرفان به. Allah made for happiness and sadness, He made for them a token, a sign, a signature title, right? By which they will be recognized, both will be recognized. It will be recognized that is good and pure or evil and filthy. وقد يكون في الرجل مادتان. And maybe the person, the man, will have two kinds of substances, two kinds of materials, right? يعني good and bad. فأيهما غلبت عليه كان من أهلها. Whichever one of them becomes the most in him, then he will be from the people of that quality. فإن أراد الله بعبده خيرا طهره قبل الموافاة. If Allah wanted good for His servant, He will cleanse, He will purify him before His servant comes to him, arrives to him to meet Allah, right? فلا يحتاج إلى تطهيره بالنار. So there is no need that he will be purified by the fire. So you will be purified here by whatever problems, pain, sickness, or a punishment, right? Set punishment or whatever. So when you come to Allah, you are clean and free, already purified. You don't need the fire to purify you, right? وحكمته تعالى, His wisdom subhanahu wa ta'ala, تأبى, refuses. His wisdom subhanahu wa ta'ala refuses أن يجاوره أحد في داره بخبائثه. His wisdom subhanahu wa ta'ala refuses that anyone will be his neighbor subhanahu wa ta'ala in his home, in his paradise, with his filthy, with his dirty aspects in him, dirty qualities. His wisdom refuses that. That anyone who has filth, dirt and evil will be neighboring Allah in paradise. His wisdom refuses that. فَيُدْخِلُهُ النَّارَ طُهْرَةً لَهُ. So Allah enters him into the fire for purification, to cleanse and purify him. وإقامة هذا النوع فيها على حسب سرعة زوال الخبائث وبطئها. Now the residence of this type of people, right, who have dirt that has to be cleansed, his residence, him residing in the fire, according to how quickly the filth will be removed and how slow the filth will be removed. Right? So if the dirt and the filth and the evil is too deep, it requires a longer time, then that person will reside in the fire longer. Right? Because the sins and the evil is deep, has to be completely, cleaned and cleansed. If the filth is not too much, then it will take a smaller period of time. Right? The cleansing, how quickly you will be cleaned, depends on how fast, right? How much of dirt there is. He said, وَلَمَّا كَانَ الْمُشْرِكِ خَبِيثَ الذَّاتِ. Since the polytheist, the one who worships other ones besides Allah, since he is filthy in person, right? لَمْ تُطَهِّرْهُ النَّارِ. He is filthy in himself. It's not like he has dirt on him. Because he is worshipping someone other than Allah, he himself turned into dirt and filth. So he is dirty and filthy in person. It's not he has stuff on him, a layer of dirt that needs to be taken off. The mushrik, he became himself filthy and dirty. He said, because of that, the fire does not purify him. The fire does not clean him. He said, and look at his example. He said, كالكلب إذا دخل البحر. You learned kalb yesterday, right? He said, like a dog entering the sea. Would it clean the dog? The sea. Yani, he's immersed in the sea. Yani. Right? Yani, even the sea does not wash the dirt on him. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. This is how evil and filthy the shirk is. Association of partners in worship with Allah. Right? But look at the example he gives, the parable he gives is so deep. Yani. Right? وَلَمَّا كَانَ الْمُؤْمِنُ الطَّيِّبُ بَرِيئًا مِنَ الْخَبَائِثِ. And since the believer who is good and pure, he is free of filth من الخبائث, كانت النار حراما عليه. Then the fire will be prohibited for him. The fire is prohibited from touching him. The believer who is طيب, who is pure and good, right? He is free from filth. Then the fire is made prohibited for him. يعني the fire is prohibited from burning him. إذ ليس فيه ما يقتضي تطهيره. Because he doesn't have in him that which necessitates purifying him. فسبحان من بهرت حكمته العقول. So all glory be to the one whom his wisdom has shocked, has amazed, right? Has made the intellects wonder, right? Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he goes on to say, and this section here is very famous, or these words that you will hear is very famous. You have heard them before a few times, and we went through this quote when we did the book by the Sheikh Muhammad al-Maghrawi, Hafidhahullah ta'ala, his book on the Sunnah, right? His book on the Sunnah. He quoted part of what you will hear now. He said, فصل في وجوب معرفة هدي الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم, a section on, or a chapter on the obligation of knowing the guidance of the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said, ومنها هنا, from this aspect now, يعلم اضطرار العباد فوق كل ضرورة. It is known how much the people, the servants, are in a dire need. And this dire need they have, it is far more than any other need or necessity. They have a dire need to what? To knowing the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم and what he came with. إلى معرفة الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم وما جاء به. فإنه لا سبيل إلى الفلاح إلا على يديه. For there is no way to success except at his hands. عليه الصلاة والسلام. ولا إلى معرفة الطيب من الخبيث على التفصيل إلا من جهته. There is no way to know the filthy and evil from the good and pure in detail except from his side. You cannot tell the details of good and bad except from him. عليه الصلاة والسلام. فأي حاجة فرضت وأي أو ضرورة عرضت فضرورة العبد إلى الرسول فوقها بكثير صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said any need that is supposed, any necessity or dire necessity that you might come across with, then you should know that your necessity, the dire necessity of the servant of Allah to the messenger, to his guidance, ﷺ, is above that, so much above that. And imagine whatever need or dire need or necessity that you have, compare that to how much you need the guidance of Rasulullah ﷺ. you will find your need to his guidance ﷺ is far above, far beyond this dire need or necessity that you think you need. He said, وَمَا ظَنُّكَ بِمَنْ إِنْ غَابَ عَنْكَ هَدْيُهُ وَمَا جَاءَ بِهِ طَرْفَةَ عَيْنٍ فَسَدَ قَلْبُكَ. He said, what do you think of the person, the one, whom if his guidance is absent from you, is not present to you, and what he has come with, alayhi salatu wasalam, if it is hidden from you, if it is absent from you, even the blinking of an eye, the time that it takes your eye to blink, then it will lead to your heart becoming corrupt. فَسَدَ قَلْبُكَ. So if any moment you are detached from the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ, your heart will be corrupt according to how much you are detached and separated from his guidance, alayhi salatu wassalam. This sharia, this revelation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to him, alayhi salatu wassalam. He said, وَلَكِنْ لَا يُحِسُّ بِهَذَا إِلَّا قَلْبٌ حَيٍّ. But no one can sense this except a heart that is alive, a living heart. Then he mentions a line of poetry. He mentions the second piece of it by the famous poet called Al-Mutanabbi. وَمَا لِجُرْحٍ بِمَيِّتٍ إِيلَامُ. He says that the wound does not hurt the person who is dead. Right? The beginning part of it, it says, مَنْ يَهُنْ يَسْهُلُ الْهَوَانُ عَلَيْهِ. The one who becomes lowly, yani he turns to be low, then lowliness becomes easy for him. Yani he chose to be low in this one, low in that one, low in the other one, low in the other one, and low in the other. The lowliness becomes so easy for him. Then he said, the wound does not hurt the person who's dead. Right? Yani if you have no feelings now, no matter how much the states of lowliness or the different occasions and cases of loneliness you go through, and you are low, you end up being low. You don't feel anymore. Even a wound does not hurt the person who is dead. He said, وَإِذَا كَانَتِ السَّعَادَةُ مُعَلَّقَةً بِهَدِيهِ صلى الله عليه وسلم. If happiness is linked, is attached to his guidance عليه الصلاة والسلام, فَيَجِبُ عَلَى كُلِّ مَنْ أَحَبَّ نَجَاةَ نَفْسِهِ. It is a must then that for everyone who wants to save himself, أن يعرف من هديه وسيرته وشأنه ما يخرج به من خطة الجاهلين. Then, since happiness is attached and linked to his guidance عليه الصلاة والسلام, so it is an obligation, it is a must upon everyone who wants to save himself, who loves to save himself, that he should know of his guidance, his life, alayhi salatu wasalam, his way, and his affairs, sha'nih, that which he will be coming out, which he will exit by it from the condition of the ignorant ones. Right? So you need to know about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as much as will make you be not ignorant of him, alayhi salatu wassalam. Right? What he came with, the wahi and the legislation and the sharia and the guidance that he mentioned in all of his affairs. And I remind you of the title of this book, زاد المعاد من هدي خير العباد, وفي هدي خير العباد. The provision for the hereafter from the guidance of the best of the servants, the best of the worshippers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, chose for him the Quran, chose to send him and make him the last and seal of messengers and prophets. And that there is no way for anyone to be guided except through him, alayhi salatu wasalam. That's it. It's finished. Right? So there is no room left for anyone to say anything. Even when the hadith that some of the companions looked into some pages from the Torah, Rasulullah ﷺ told them that if Musa ﷺ was alive, he will have no choice but to follow me. ﷺ. So if Musa ﷺ, this mighty messenger, if he was alive, he would have to follow Rasulullah ﷺ, then what about the rest? Right? So he said, regarding the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ, he said, yani, you need to know enough about him so that you're not in a condition where you don't know, you are ignorant of the Prophet ﷺ. Right? Yani Allah says, أَمْ لَمْ يَعْرِفُوا رَسُولَهُمْ, or did they not know, did they not recognize their messenger? أَمْ لَمْ يَعْرِفُوا رَسُولَهُمْ. Right? Here he says, وَالنَّاسُ فِي هَذَا, the people in this regard, بَيْنَ مُسْتَقِلٍ وَمُسْتَكْثِرٍ وَمَحْرُومٍ. The people regarding the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ are between mustaqil, one who is taking very little, knows very little, وَمُسْتَكْثِرٍ, one who knows a lot and seeks to know a lot, وَمَحْرُومٍ, someone who is deprived, someone who does not have anything. وَالْفَضْلُ بِيَدِ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَاللَّهُ ذُو الْفَضْلِ الْعَظِيمِ. The excellence, the bounty is in the hands of Allah. He gives it to whomever He wishes, and He is, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who is of great bounty. Inshallah, we will stop here. Next time, في هديه صلى الله عليه وسلم في الوضوء. His guidance صلى الله عليه وسلم regarding wudu, purification.